situation, I think, as we're a little bit late on this one, but interesting action should unfold here.
Yeah, 6-4 looking like the scoreline here. mousesports have a slight advantage heading into this first half, but of course they are on that CT side, so that's kind of to be expected here. Having a look like both teams. Okay, so Ninjas in Pyjamas having a bit of a trouble in their economy situation. Obviously, a pistol round coming out here for them, Pete.
Yeah, they've not started particularly well. We've not been caught too much up on the action, trying to get the stream going. But now that it is, we can see that mousesports jumping into a 6-4 lead. That AWP on Chris J seems to be the most prevalent use of that weapon at the moment. But as you said, Get Right and all the Ninjas and Jumps guys starting a little bit slow, but they'll be on the eco here pushing mid.
Yeah, trying to make their way up mid. They have a little bit of cover from that smoke there, but really you have to expect mousesports not going to have too much of a difficulty in this round. Though NiP are getting a reasonable amount of map control up towards mid here. I don't think they've been spotted out just yet either. So mousesports, these two players on that B bomb side are going to have a little bit of a job to do. That's a Spitty and Nex, but they do have the rifles to work with.
Yeah, it's going to be I guess a later execution here from NiP, working their way in slowly. Get Right's going to get the angle, but Nex is equal to the task there, picking up one before Speedy chimes in with Nex picking up a double there, and it's going to be business as usual for mousesports, just one by one picking up all those kills, although Forrest has managed to find himself an AWP off Chris J, and of course Forrest, with the departure of Alu, has picked up that AWP role more frequently.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, I guess, one of the key matchups in this this game here between mousesports and NiP. Obviously, Forrest, as you say, picking up that AWP, but Chris J, you know, one of the more well-known AWPers around the place, so that will be an interesting dynamic between these two teams. And now we're just going to see, obviously, mousesports trying to find Forrest, and eventually they do take him down. So another round on the board for them. 7-4 the scoreline here. This is getting a little bit comfortable here for mousesports, but still, there is the opportunity for Ninjas in Pyjamas to sort of sneak a few rounds in before the end of the first half.
Definitely there. You can see Forrest with an exceptional start to the game. All of these best of ones really tightly contested, and now you can see basically the new NiP roster with the in-game leader Threat, also the coach, so all playmaking, calling duties taken away from the players, and this is very typical of a Threat style offense here with no AWP being utilized, and Chris J will make them pay for that fact, picking up the first kill of the round on to Get Right.
Yeah, that will be the go signal though for the Ninjas in Pyjamas to begin their execute on that A-bomb site. You can see the smokes raining over from their spawn, but Nico is going to find the first frag of the entry there. It's Pipe going down. He's in a little bit of trouble, and now we're going to see Nico finding a second kill, possibly a third, which he does manage to pick up there, and Dennis closes out the fourth. mousesports with a very convincing round, not losing a single weapon.
Yeah, definitely someone to look out for. Nico, obviously one of the star players in mousesports. With the departure of God B, they've gone through such a restructure. Nico is not only the star player, fragger, and I guess draw card for the team, he's also now the in-game leader. So with all that extra pressure mounted on his shoulders moving into this tournament, hopefully he can sustain that. He's doing a fantastic job at the moment there. You can see that 3K coming out easy as you like with that AK, but now we see a pause coming in. Should be from NiP side of things, and they'll look to just talk things over. Their in-game leader Threat will be going through a myriad of things, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess now that we've got this little bit of a pause, we can have a little bit of a discussion about the addition of Threat, because obviously this is something that we saw Na'Vi trying a little bit last year with Starix. How perhaps has the addition of Threat here helped the Ninjas Pyjamas?
Well, I'm not even sure if it's helped them just yet. I mean, Threat has come in, and there's been so much reluctancy from the NiP side of things previously to change the way that they went about the methodology in which they chose to operate on, which was a very free, open pick style offense with, I guess, a very individual basis to it. Now Threat's come in as not only the coach, but taking away that in-game leadership role. It does give him more control over what actually goes on, and through his rigid playstyle and team structure, hopefully NiP are able to forge a new identity and help the newest member Pith fit in nicely.
Yeah, well, they're certainly going to need to do that, as they're already struggling a little bit on their T side, only those 4 rounds, but still a couple of rounds left here in this half. mousesports should have a bit of a hold on this one, though. We already seen one eco round going for NiP, and that didn't really turn out too well at all. So let's see what they can bring for us in this round. You can see Exist getting boosted up there into the window. He's going to pick up a first kill onto Chris J. quick trade out though is going to be Nico picking up Pyth. Get Right does manage to take down Dennis, so this is looking actually okay for Ninjas in Pajamas at the moment.
Yeah, they've got an excellent entry into this A bomb site, and they're just waiting to see what happens as the bomb goes down, and Nico's going to be all sorts of roughed up in that mid-con, but he's going to try and fight his way out of there, back into the A bomb site, and look at this. It's the lurk coming in here from one of the NiP players through the mid-connector, and this will get taken down by Nico, but Forrest and Get Right holding that A stairs section defensively.
Yeah, Freiburg and Get Right picking up one apiece now. Spitty in a 1 versus 2. And this is probably an unwinnable situation for him. Indeed, it is going to be Get Right picking up the final kill there with the Deagle. And that's a very important round, actually, there for NiP. It's going to allow them to get a lot of money in the bank there heading into this last couple of rounds of the half.
Yeah, they'll be very happy with the way that ended up. Get Right picking up a triple with the Deagle. So his impact felt very strongly in that round for NiP, and I guess for them, they're going to have to just see how the momentum takes them through this game. Obviously, with such a new offense, they've only played a total of 11 maps so far in 2016, and this is the first tournament they've come to play on an offline tournament, so this is a real test for NiP, and also their brand new AWP of Forrest, who's no stranger to the weapon, of course, being such a prolific player in the scene for so long, but this new role with the AWP might cause him to make a few adaptations to his play as Chris J opens up there nicely onto Freiburg to start the round off for mousesports.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point that you make about Forrest, because obviously we do know he's one of the, I guess, the prolific riflers in the scene, so seeing him moving over to the AWP is going to be an interesting shake-up for him there, but I mean, I feel like it's been working okay for NiP lately. They have been having a little bit of a resurgence of form because of, obviously, that quiet period during 2015, but as they've headed into 2016, things have seemed to lift a little bit for NiP, but obviously they haven't really reached that height that they were at previously. So still a lot, I guess, in the bank here that we want to wait and see from NiP, and hopefully this event is going to be something that we are going to see. But speaking of something that they need to pick up, it is going to be Dennis here pushing down the A ramp. He's going to find one, does get traded out there by Forrest, who actually finds a double kill on the entry there for NiP. Not going to be enough though, because mousesports still have a 3 versus 2 situation, and they've got complete control over this A bomb site. For the moment, the bomb's still not yet planted either for NiP. It is going to go down now. Forrest should be getting that down okay. The smoke in CT will keep him safe. And now the mousesports on the retake.
Yeah, decent post-plant positions here from NiP, but Forrest is going to have to make that AWP work for him as soon as he sees the first target. He's going to have to lock on and make it count, but unfortunately it looks as though he's going to get multiple angles thrown at him here by the mousesports retake. You can see Get Right spamming through that box, picking up a headshot onto next, but Chris J and Speedy able to trade out effectively there, grabbing that bomb site back, and also the defuse for mousesports, so that'll bring up their 9th round. And for me, that was just a little bit too slow from NiP. They got the entries that they needed through Forrest, but they'd left a little too much to do with such limited resources to get back into that A-bomb site.
Yeah, and NiP haven't found themselves in the best position they possibly could have been in. Obviously, their economy not the hottest, so this is not going to be a perfect buy coming out from them. You can see a couple of Tech-9s at Galil as well, and really not a huge amount of utilities. They do have enough to offer themselves an execute, but probably not where they'd want to be sitting here at a 9-5 scoreline.
Definitely not what they would have wanted, although they're not too far out of it. So NiP here will have a fresh new tier side, as we've said so many times already, threat taking over that, not only the coaching role and trying to bring new tactics into the side, but taking on that in-game leader role. Is you never know how long that's going to take before it becomes a really effective use of their strategy. Now as Ziz picks up a double there with the Galil and tries to make his way into the A-bomb site, but is being taken down by Chris J, and now next will finish off Freiburg, and the half ends 10-5 to mousesports. But from what we saw briefly there, mousesports looked in complete control, and they look to maintain that control moving into the pistol round in the second half. I
mean, we came into this at a 6-4 scoreline, and it ended up being 10-5. So, as you mentioned, mousesports looking in complete control, picking up a huge amount of rounds, 4 in a row, and then picking up the last 2 as well off the back of that. So, a pretty reasonable CT side coming out there from mousesports. I'd say they probably went 1 round better than they would have necessarily needed in that half.
Yep, definitely an advantage for mousesports here, but remember how quickly those advantages can be erased if you are to win the pistol round as NiP here. So obviously there's a lot of pressure on NiP with this new roster, and in particular Pith and his abilities to step up when required in big tournaments. You know, he's been unable to really force his hand, so to speak, in previous teams such as Luminosity and Winterfox. When he did make the jump over to North America, he was just so underwhelming there that you thought to yourself, maybe NiP should try and look in a different direction, as they did. Pith was about the 3rd or 4th string pickup that they managed to get signed, but nevertheless, they're going to have to make it work here, and we're knee-deep in this piss around, but not a lot of action's actually taken place as yet.
No, certainly not, and you can see that mousesports really aren't affecting the map too much at all either. They haven't got much map control. You can see Chris J trying to make his way through underpass here with Dennis, and this is going to be the first sort of entry in towards enemy territory that they are going to get. NiP not yet having spotted out anyone from mousesports. There you go, Nico heading in towards mid. He's going to be taking the first shot towards Forest. He actually gets a little bit of damage across, but really nothing to write home about. This is a very slow pistol round in the grand scheme of things. It's
very slow indeed, and Nico firing off that deagle at the mid window would definitely strike fear into the heart of any counter-terrorist player, but it's Pith opening up with a double there. Nico and Chris J go down in quick succession. Brilliant work there by the new pickup from NiP, showing his worth in the early stages of this second half. Freiburg also picks up Dennis. Now it's a 2 versus 5, sorry, as Speedy picks up 1 kill there.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult here for mousesports. The good news is they do have the bomb down, but Get Right doesn't really care at all. He's going to pick up a double kill for himself, and the pistol round will go to NiP, which was important for them, obviously being down a little bit on those rounds. And this is going to give them a little bit of a buffer heading in towards that second half.
Yeah, brilliant work there by Pith. For every pistol round, there's always an early round hero or a late round hero for me, as often the attack from the terrorists is split up. So early round hero there goes to Pith picking up the double, but then Get Right coming in, as he so often does, and picking up those last 2 kills. So brilliant contribution there from both of those players. It gets NiP the pistol round they so sorely needed. And now they will relax back into this eco round here for mousesports. They'll not really force anything up at all, just a couple of P250s and a couple of flashbangs going out there, and it'll be Forrest just feasting there, picking up a double before he's traded out. Next and Nico pick up 1 apiece, and it's definitely a marginal chance of victory here for mousesports, but nonetheless, 2 players still alive and kicking.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Speedy here. He's got a couple of flashbangs, and they didn't really make any use of those. So I feel like that might have been the opening in that round that mousesports could have potentially used and ended up not using. So NiP getting off pretty free there. I think they lost 1 player, so not too bad of a result at all for them. And obviously going to be able to rebuy all those weapons here. Yeah,
but you can see, look at the scoreboard for NiP. Pith just at the bottom there, 6 for 14. So in his big LAN debut, he's struggling just a little bit, and they'll need more from him as the competition moves forward if they want to try and repeat last year's success at Katowice, where they finished 2nd behind the eventual champions, Fnatic. So a lot of work here to do for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but they're on the right way back. Yeah, mousesports getting a bit of control in towards mid. You could see Freiburg, I think it was Forrest actually, was the one that headed in towards window and got the intel that they were in mid there. Chris J will find the first frag of the round. That's on to Pyth, who's not necessarily having the best of his games, as you just mentioned previously, but still 4 players left alive here for NiP to hold on to these sites. It's going to be difficult work here for NiP to manage to hold on to this round, because you can see how much pressure that the Mouse players have put on different choke points of the map. NiP don't really have a decent read at all as to what's going on. You've got Forrest and his teammate Exist in A, just eagerly waiting, and Freiburg's actually made his way back towards the A side of things as well, and the rotates come back. So this is going to be an open bomb site here for mousesports to just walk into, unless Get Right can do something fantastic. Yeah, well, we know what kind of a player Get Right can be when the big moments come, and this is going to be one of those as the players from mousesports start to make their way on towards B, but he won't play any part in this round. Get Right just getting absolutely dominated there by Nico. And you can see pretty much a save coming out here from Ninjas in Pyjamas, not really too keen to take on this B-bomb site. Yeah, what's really important for me there is the constant pressure that mousesports have put across all of the choke points on the map. They've made sure that they at least have presence in enough areas that have made NiP make a few tactical guesses on their CT side, a few early and improper rotates there, leaving that B-bomb site exposed. And for me, Nico is standing out really, really tall here, because he's not only quarterbacking the strategy for mousesports, he's also getting the entry frag there onto Get Right at B, so he's carrying a lot of responsibility for this mousesports team, but at the moment he's standing up. Yeah, he certainly is, and obviously it's paying dividends here for mousesports. 11 rounds up now, 25 to go, and they're within striking distance here. NiP really need to, I guess, get a bit of a wriggle on, because they are within danger of losing this first matchup. Definitely, and they would have gone into this one heavy favourites, although with the change in leadership in NiP, there were definitely question marks, and the acquisition of Pith, definitely question marks. But equally so, the question marks are there for mousesports as well. God.B leaving in a bit of murky circumstances, and now obviously Nico's left to fill that role as in-game leader. So a lot of transitioning for both of these teams, but at the moment mousesports look to be in slightly better form than NiP. A long way to go.
That's a big grenade coming out there. Chris J dropped down to 56 HP. Good start in the round here for NiP, but they don't really have a whole lot of utilities to work with here. Once these initial ones disappear, NiP are going to have a little bit of difficulty defending these bomb sites, and if the bomb site does get lost, retaking the bomb site. So worries in this round here for NiP as well.
Definitely worrying signs here. You can see that they don't actually have a lot of resource left. NiP battling with just flashbangs and one Molotov already with a minute to go. And on the mousesports side of things, not too much better, but those two smokes and double Molotovs will play a crucial part in this round as mousesports gear up towards this B bomb site. But this time, NiP haven't made that incorrect rotate. We've got Get Right and Pith waiting eagerly at that B bomb site, ready to take on the challenge.
Yeah, it's certainly looking like a much stronger defense on this B bomb site. Get Right in a decent position on the site here. He's going to have to do a bit of work there as his teammate goes down, but he also goes down to Dennis. Two beautiful entry frags coming out from him. And once again, Mouse rests in control of this B bomb site without really Ninjas in Pajamas putting up much of a fight at all.
Yeah, it's Forest. You can see the communication for NiP is questionable at the moment. They're not pushing aggressively for any sort of map control. They're not trying to wrestle away any choke points from the mousesports team. They're just letting the attack come their way, and really they're being caught off guard. You can see Forest there still lurking at the A ramp just moments before the attack came in at B. So mousesports having a much better read on the situation at the moment, and they'll go up 12-7, and they'll put their best foot forward and try and keep this momentum going right through to the end of this match.
Yeah, almost a sense of deja vu from the previous round there. You can see obviously NiP trying to save their weapons. mousesports getting that easy B take going on. So perhaps time for Ninjas in Pajamas to try something a little bit crazy because their default setup is not necessarily working out here. You know, what kind of options have NiP got here heading into this round?
Well, they just need to wrestle some sort of map control away from mousesports. They need to be selectively aggressive here. They need to team up and get multiple teammates involved in different areas of pressure. So perhaps we could look at an A push here for NiP, clear out that A ramp, see if there's actually anything going to come in terms of an execute. If there is, then they can prepare for it and get those rotates. If there's nothing there, then they can load up towards that B bomb site. But at the moment, they're just a little bit too passive. You can see Forrest getting individually aggressive, but he's a bit isolated there away from his teammates, and Dennis has spotted out something in the smoke, and will he find him? He can't quite get that kill, and Forrest will fall back and get under that balcony to safety, but only just.
Yeah, the A bomb site take looking pretty good here for Mouse already. They've got Speedy and Nico picking up a killer piece. Now it's only Forrest. He's going to have to come up huge, which he doesn't. Get Right does manage to pick up one there with the CZ, and finds himself an AK. But I don't know how much use that is going to be here in this 4 versus 2 situation, as Ninjas in Pajamas are just essentially getting shut out of their own bomb sites.
Yeah, as Get Right goes down there, all the responsibility is left on the newcomer Piff, and he's just basically biding his time here, trying to save out that FAMAS and put that to good use next round. But unfortunately for NiP, they're just getting completely outread at the moment, and mousesports are able to exhibit such a level of freedom in their operations purely because of the lack of pressure from NiP. This is a situation where in previous iterations of NiP, even including the one with Alu and Makalele, so much pressure coming off that aggressive AWP style of both of those players. And now without that presence in their team, it does look as though they're a little bit lackluster in terms of their CT side, but once again, this is the first LAN tournament that they've played at, so perhaps just working out some of the kinks early on, but they're in real trouble here.
Yeah, not to mention this is also the first map as well, so some teams obviously do like to, or not necessarily like to, but tend to have a little bit of a slow start into some tournaments and then start to hit their strides later in the piece. But we'll see what happens here for NiP. Obviously, I guess we should focus more so on how this map is going at the current moment. mousesports looking quite good here. This should be 14 rounds on the board for them. Having said that, though, we have already seen NiP picking up 1 eco round, so there is that possibility that they might be able to edge this one out.
Such a long time to go in this round for NiP, and it means so much to them. If they can manage to wrestle away something like an eco round from mousesports, something to just get the fire going, get those old school competitors, Get Right, Forest, Freiburg, Zist, they've been to these sort of tournaments so many times before. They're going to have to be the ones to pull NiP kicking and screaming out of this hole they're in at the moment. But as it stands, mousesports are going to slowly make their way into B. It looks as though it's going to be, I guess, a bit of an aggressive read here. They're not particularly scouting out the A bomb site, just the one player, and now they've kind of realized that not a lot's going on at A, and potentially they're going to fall back, and they have made the decision. They're going to bail back to A. Yeah,
mousesports have got that one player on the A bomb site. NiPo here, you can see, getting his utilities all across that map. The stair smoke is going to be good for mousesports as they enter on towards this side, and you can see the rotate coming across as well from NiP. Only just now getting into their positions as the execute comes across. That's not good news for them at all. NiPo is going to pick up Freiburg to start us off here. Dennis is going to find one. No, it's actually Chris J to pick up Forest there, who coming in from the connector. And now 3 players stacked in towards CT spawn. They're not going to have much of a hope in this round. NiPo picks up a double kill. Dennis finding one as well. And that is another round on the board there for mousesports. 14, and look at the economy. They are looking fantastic here.
They've built up a lot of dank bank here. mousesports have indeed. They're going to be able to buy all the way through this game, you should think. They shouldn't run out of money by the time the half ends, so fantastic position for them. But interestingly, in that round, Nico was actually the lurker in A, making sure that the correct read was being made, and he's the in-game leader. Usually you see that player involved within the group of players on a different side of the map, and a different player has been sent to lurk, but Nico there assuming that responsibility and making that call well as Chris J once again opens up onto Forest. So great kill there from Chris J to start this round off for mousesports.
Yeah, again, you can already see mousesports starting to gain the upper hand in this round, and that's been the sort of the story of this second half here. NiP really haven't had any opportunities to actually win a round at all. I feel like every first frag has gone in the way of mousesports, and in most cases even it's been a double kill or something like that. So Ninjas in Pajamas haven't even really been in with a sniff in this second half at all.
No, it's been a pretty dominant performance so far here by mousesports, but we can't count the champions out just yet. But every kill that comes up just seems to be going the way of mousesports at the moment. Nico getting onto Freiburg there and taking him out. So now it's a 5 versus 3 in favor of mousesports.
Yeah, Nico looks like he is poised to pick one up here, but no, it's Exist to actually find a kill for Ninjas in Pajamas, giving themselves perhaps an opening into the round here, but still 3 versus 4 does favor the mousesports guys. It's splitting the defense here from Ninjas in Pajamas, and unfortunately for them, that means they've only got that one player on the A-bomb site here, and that is where the mousesports guys are headed.
Fantastic read here coming in from the mousesports in-game leader, Nico. They've put enough pressure once again across a number of choke points and now isolated the sole counter-terrorist in A, which will be Exist trying to fight this one off, and he does get the first one. He needs to go absolutely monumental here for NiP to even keep them in contention. There's only 8 seconds left, so will he get the bomb planted? Pith and Get Right actually chime in there, getting 1 and 2, but the bomb will go down and force a 3 versus 1. Next is able to open that one up onto Pith, but Get Right picking up the last kill there, and they'll get on the defuse, but really excellent ability there from Zist to just stay alive and make sure there's enough time for his teammates to make their way over back to A.
Yeah, that didn't look good at all for mousesports. 5 on 3, and they didn't even manage to really do a whole lot of damage. They picked up 1 kill, but yeah, something certainly went wrong as they entered in towards that A-bomb site, but I guess that's not too bad. They have got that huge round buffer that they can work with here, so one sort of dodgy round isn't going to be too big of a deal. Obviously, they have enough money to rebuy here as well, so they're looking pretty good heading into this 23rd round.
There will be an AWP onto Zist, so Forest, who'd previously been named the, I guess, semi-AWPer for this team, he's not going to be any sort of permanent AWP fixture just due to the style that they look to play, but certainly Zist picking up this AWP and seeing if he can open this one up for NiP. He can't. Does spot at Nico though on the top of those mid crates, and now NiP will settle back down and try and get into some sort of holding pattern, but Get Right catches Speedy off guard, and he picks up a second one before Dennis is able to trade and turn this into a 4v3 in NiP's favour.
And Pyth here though on the B-bomb site. Oh, it does get taken out by Dennis there. Really nice frag from him, but you can see the Ninjas in Pajamas players rather starting to circle in towards that B-bomb site, all coming from the one direction though, so that's a little bit of an issue here for them. mousesports only going to have to look in towards shop. They are going to be able to spot these players coming out there. Next picks up a double kill. It is going to be Exist to bring one back there onto Dennis, but he's in a 2 versus 1, and he only has an AWP for the retake. This is going to be an entirely difficult situation for him. Trying to pick around the bomb site, doesn't spot anyone out here. mousesports playing this to perfection, but what a shot coming out from Exist there. Now he has a possibility, not quite going to get it there as Next closes out the kill. That's 15 on the board here now for mousesports, and they are looking to close this one out.
Yeah, definitely. The 3-man core from Penta being Dennis, Speedy, and also Nex, making, I guess, the new in-game leader NiKo's life a lot easier. The chemistry that those three have, picking up the core of Penta in a previous roster, is really assisting them, and Nex going absolutely massive for mousesports, being, I guess, be the 3rd most recognized player in this roster. Dennis and Speedy having pretty horrific form slumps before moving into this tournament, so they've been really struggling, but fantastic result there from Nex, picking up a triple. Now Speedy once again opens up onto Pith, and NiP look as though they're sliding away.
Yeah, they certainly do, and mousesports are going to know that that is the B bomb site player for NiP, so really they only have to deal with Get Right. We do see Forrest starting to rotate across, but a good position coming out there from Speedy. He's going to pick him up next. Meanwhile, has taken out Exist, and there's Get Right going down as well to Chris J, so this is looking awful now for Ninjas in Pajamas. A 1 versus 5 for Freiburg here. He doesn't even have a weapon, really. He's only got that 5-7, so, you know, he's almost got no hope in this situation.
The word impossible is thrown around a lot these days, but I can safely say that it's being used aptly in this situation, as NiKo does find that last kill onto Freiburg, and that will close out the game for NiP. What a fantastic display there from mousesports.
Yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily